What up, guys? This is Derek, reporting live from Miami South Beach. First Brotherhood meeting. We have a little welcome meeting, a little bonus chat today. And yeah, mostly I just want to say what's up, say hi, and shout out to, I got to see a lot of countries, a lot of European homies on here. What's up, guys? South America, all over the damn world. Um, Connor says, Derek late. What up, Connor? Fuck you, Connor. Derek's 2 minutes late. I was getting my balls licked. Fuck you, Connor. Um, In any case, yeah, I've got fucking a lot of dope shit to talk about with you guys. Um, One thing that a few guys emailed, the company emailed me about is the profile, like screen names. And I want to make sure that you guys know that you don't have to use the name that you signed up under. You can go do a screen name thing. You change your screen name. They sent an email yesterday about that. I also talked to my team just this afternoon after the gym, and I told them it'd be cool if they made some little tutorials so you could put up whatever screen name that you want to, and that gives you the option to be, as public or anonymous with your public profile on the Brotherhood website. So look into that. Check out the email that you got yesterday about it. There'll be a tutorial up, in a few days or perhaps a week, but before our next meeting, we'll get a tutorial up that just makes it easy to do that for you. A couple other things is like the voting stuff. Make sure there's a lot of guys have voted already, but make sure that you're taking a look at the voting feature for the Brotherhood Goldman. And those are the topics we're going to cover. Whatever you guys want to talk about, that's what we're going to talk about in our first official chat in January. Right now, what's winning? It's talking about, if you click under the Brotherhood Gold topic voting, you can introduce a topic, submit new ideas, and you can vote up or vote down other ideas. And at the moment, the winning topic is about fun interactions that make her pussy wet. So that's very charming, whoever put that up there. Very charming, very gentlemanly. Number 2 topic at the moment is threesomes, but every month we're going to clear that, and it's going to be fresh voting for that month. So take a look at it. Make sure you introduce any topic that you're super excited about, and whatever you guys want to talk about most, that's going to be our number 1 topic for the main talk in January. I'm also working on a lot of really cool bonus stuff for you guys. Mostly to be announced, but I'm going to have some of the other instructors come on and do chats throughout 2019, just for the Brotherhood members. It's not going to be public information. We have very some of those guys are a little more concerned about their public image than I am, where I kind of don't give a fuck and I want to live a very authentic life and say and do what I want and be around people that are like that. And for some other people, there's enough punishment and deplatforming and other problems that they're less comfortable doing that to a mass audience. But we created a situation here where we can have very open and honest conversation on the platform, and I'm super excited to bring some of the other guys on and chat with you. A couple other bullet points about functionality. The boys just updated, my tech guys, they just updated the forum because we found a different option that'll provide a lot better functionality for you and give a lot of features that the previous one did not have. So on December 15th, we're going to get rid of the current forum, and the new one is going to take fold. I think the new one's already posted, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check on that. Yeah, it says for Gold Guys and Knights members, you'll see that it says the forum and forum old. So that the old forum is going to be deleted in 1 week. Now, all you have to do, if you made posts on there that you would like to keep live, no trouble, awesome. All you have to do is a quick cut and paste. So just do a cut and paste, like in the next week. Do it right now if you feel like it, and pop over shit from the previous, from the old forum to the new one, and you're good. Everything will be solid. I never asked, can you guys hear me well? Can you just type in a fuck yes, please, if you can hear me well and we're communicating clearly? Hello, hello? Oh, there we go. I was concerned about that because I didn't see any comments. All right, thanks so much for that. So I was like, oh, have I just been talking to myself for 5 minutes? So, all right, man. What are a couple other bullet points? So, yeah, I told you about tutorials, told you about the voting stuff. The other thing I'm going to add is a book list. People ask me about book list constantly, and I'm tired of recommending those books every damn time I do something. So I'm just going to make a very comprehensive book list. In longer term, I might draft just a few sentences or a paragraph of explaining what I think that book is useful for, and the couple main takeaways and what type of person would give a shit about reading it. So I'll post a book list for you guys soon. I'm curious, feel free to comment on here. Some things I'll implement, some things won't be practical. But if you got a specific suggestion of things that would be super dope, I'd love to hear your comments on it. How can we best serve you to connect with each other to get the most out of the platform that we built here? All that said, like, a few thoughts I had. We're going to do my main assistant this year, Cameron. He and I are going to do a bonus talk at the end of December. I don't know what date it's going to be yet. It might be a few days before Christmas. It might be a few days after Christmas. But I promised you guys like a 2-hour interactive, kind of a breakdown of like what are the most important things that he and I learned in 2018. They're related to game or lifestyle or how to get the most out of your fucking life, man. And I'm really excited about that. We're going to do that in a couple weeks from now. You'll get an update about it, several days or a week in advance. I think I'm gonna chat with you guys just a little bit now. I'm gonna go through a couple of these things that won't be voted up on the ideas list here for topic voting. One here is how to build the attitude of a real pimp while staying likable enough. And you guys go ahead and feel free to pop up something in your suggestions now. This is going to be a very informal call, so other things are going to be very structured. When I do the official calls in January and afterwards, I'll have very structured content for you guys, very specific about whatever topic that you voted on. But this one's going to be a little abnormal and a little informal. So if you guys want to type in the comments box about anything that you'd be excited to talk about, or things that I could help sort out for you that are pressing in your life right now, I'm happy to chat about that too. But I read this in the voting thing about how to build the attitude of a real pimp while staying likable enough. It says it's always been a challenge to balance enough of the asshole with the good, relatable, friendly guy. And how can you come off as a cool guy without being too much of a dick or an asshole? And it says, or really just totally embrace the I don't give a fuck attitude without caring about results. Yeah, I think this is, the way that question is structured is really misguided, man. Like, your goal in life is not to be an asshole to other people. And these things aren't mutually exclusive. It's not like, oh, I got to be a fucking nice guy, chode faggot, and never get laid, or I just got to be an asshole and be abusive to people. It's a misguided thought. Like what I'm saying to people, the way that I communicate with others, and the way that I strongly suggest that you do, is like, think through what your really values. Think through what your values are. Think about. And so the 3 questions I talk about frequently: what kind of man am I? What kind of life do I want to live? And who would be a good companion for that life? And after you've discerned that, and that's not an easy thing. That's not something you think about for 5 minutes. It's something that it does take some deep reflection, and you have to go back and contemplate those things over time. That's a lifelong question of, the first things, what kind of man am I and what kind of life do I want to live? Those won't change so dramatically. There's like, character and personality traits. But, who would be the best companion? Well, that's going to change as the second one does change a bit of what kind of life do I want to live. And it's just paramount that you must understand those 3 things quite clearly, or you're just really fucked. You're kind of a leaf in the wind if you don't know who you are and you don't know what you want. How would you ever get that shit? You wouldn't even be capable of setting a goal. And that's where a question like this would come from, is, the balance of being an asshole versus a nice guy is, I mean, what a lot of people think about as a nice guy, it's not a nice guy. It's a fucking fake piece of shit. It's just some fucking fake bitch that he doesn't even have a macro view of what kind of man he is and what sort of life he wants to live. He's basically like a woman, just like a bitch that's just going through the world of like, well, what do I want right now? And then how can I fucking manipulate the world or trick the system or sneak around to get what I want right now? And it's very short-sighted. That type of thinking, you can't have long-term, high-value outcomes thinking very, very short-term. And I'll get into the specifics of this in a moment, but without these fundamental thoughts in your head, that question is going to be fuzzy to you for the rest of your life. And, another comment about this is just like, after you know those things, after you know who you are, what you want, who are the type of people that you should be around, and inherent in that is, who are the people that I should absolutely not be spending time with? Who are the people that would be an utter waste of my time? If you don't respect your time, if you don't value your time, you don't value your life. All your fucking life is a series of moments. Your time is the most important thing. I don't know one person that has financial freedom that doesn't value their time more than anything else in the world. Your time is very important. Your time is very, very important. And if you want to go treat everybody equally, if socialism works, man, you love socialism, you should go to Venezuela. You should go there where people are like starving. They don't have food. Something like 10% of the population has fled their country because the average person has lost like 19 pounds. That's about 8.5 kilos because there's no fucking food there. And if you want to treat everybody equally, that's what happens when you have these socialist ideas. Oh, everybody's the same. No, they're not. Not everybody's going to be a good wingman for you. Not every woman is going to be a good partner for you. And you have to really think deeply about those three questions for that reason, to have that guidance in your own mind of not what your mommy thinks is best for you, not what Derek or Owen thinks is best for you, of like, what do you really fucking want? Like, you need to know what's best for you internally and with a long-term perspective of what are the behaviors you could engage in that would give you the best outcomes over the course of your lifetime. And you're not going to be able to have that guide if you don't answer those questions. So again, what kind of man am I? What kind of life do I want to live? Who would be the best companion for that life? And when I say companion, that's like your friends. Who are the type of guys you should be hanging out with? Who are the people that would be a good business partner, a good colleague, or an ally for you in some way? And obviously as well, what type of women? And you don't want most women. So this type of question, again, of nice guy versus asshole / pimp, you don't want most women. Most women to make a fucking mess of your life. Most women, I mean, man, a lot of you guys already know that, like, there's plenty of women that after you might have thought you were interested in her, and then you had sex, and about 3 minutes later, you were ready to go. You're like, oh, cool, time to move it, keep it moving, time to move on. And you don't even want most women, man. And, keep that in mind when you go talk to a woman in a club. I mean, you really should have your life in order, is if you're offering her an opportunity. You don't need to be fucking coming to the girl like, hey, please like me, please like me, please like me, which is the ultimate nice guy strategy. The nice guy strategy is like, please like me, and I would say or do anything you'd want. I'll agree with any nonsense that you say to me if you just like me, if you just give me a little validation or a little affirmation. And it's really pathetic. And that's the type of thinking that gets in your way of having real results. Is, it's nice to want a woman. When you see a beautiful woman, that should get your attention. And it's nice if you want a beautiful woman. But God damn it, if you need a beautiful woman, you can never have her. The price you'll pay for needing her is you can never, ever have her. Because she has to go with somebody else that, perhaps wants her, but certainly doesn't need her. There's nothing more repulsive than that nice guy neediness of, please like me. Oh, yeah, whatever you say, princess. So get over that shit. and realize, let's go back to that asshole part of it, of, going through the world and valuing your time. That means that you are going to have to tell some people, like, just like the girl say to you in the nightclub, man. You go talk to the girl, and she's like, nice to meet you. Have a good night. I got to go now. And you should be treating her the same way. When you talk to a girl that's not exciting to you, when you talk to a girl that's just not very interesting or doesn't have much going on, there's no reason that you would treat her with any greater reverence than she treats you. It should be, frankly, it should be just the exact opposite, that you're probably going to do a lot more for her than she would ever do for you. And this idea of like pandering and placating and pretending to be something you're not, it's really fucked. So the point is not that you're going to be an asshole. Not, the word dick is mentioned in here. I'm not trying to be a dick to the girl. I'm not trying to be an asshole to the girl. But there's nothing she can't do for me that somebody's not already doing. There's nothing some stranger is going to do for my life that's going to make it, significantly better than it already is. And sure as hell not a woman. Sure as hell not a woman. So, know who you are, know what you want. It's called screening. Go screen for that shit and get rid of the girls quickly, very quickly. Discern, oh, this girl's not going to help me with my life goals. Oh, this girl's not going to help me with my short-term goals of getting a blowjob or having a one-night stand or, procuring a new fuck buddy. This girl wouldn't be compatible for my fuck buddy. This girl wouldn't be compatible to be a one-night stand. She's not the right girl that I'd be having threesomes with. So whatever you want, whatever type of life that you decide you want to live, or whatever your goals are at that moment, when you decide, when it's come clear to you that, oh, this girl can't help me with that, there's no reason to be a dick or to be a so-called asshole to her. Just have enough self-respect to keep it moving. It's like, oh, cool, nice to meet you. Have a great night. Go grab a different girl. And you grab another girl right in front of her. Like, while you're still talking to that one, well, that one's still in front of you. It's like, oh, cool, got it. And just grab a new one. Just like literally reach your arm out and grab another hottie that's walking by and pull her in there. And say, this girl and I were about to break up. I'm recently single. What's your name? And have the audacity to make a couple more bold moves like that, and think rationally about what are you doing with your time, man? You ain't got time to waste with losers. You ain't got time to waste with girls that don't value who you are and what you're up to. So you got to like yourself first. And we created this fucking platform. We created the Brotherhood, for guys who already like themselves, for guys that already have good shit going on in their life. That's why you're here, man. And stop this pandering. Stop fucking placating to a woman. If she would get in the way of your most important goals, just say goodbye, keep it moving, find a different girl that's going to be, more suitable to who you are and what you want. And just don't worry about nothing. Don't worry about nothing. The marginal value that an average chick could come bring to you is like, it's very insignificant. If you had 5 more girls like that, you wouldn't be worried about any one of them. You'd just be like, oh, cool, no worries. So type in them a couple questions. What do you guys want to chat about? We're just, again, very informal chat today. What do you guys want to talk about? What we got here? We got how do we handle age difference resistance like a boss? I don't think girls are so worried about your age, man. If you're worried about your age, if you think an age difference is a problem, then it's going to be a problem. So if you're worried about it, she'll be worried about it. She'll be like, oh, yep, he's right. He thinks he's old. He must be old. Not for me. But, I'm almost 40, and it barely comes up. It'll come up, but it barely comes up. And I frequently explain to a girl that, why would I have a woman that's my age? Like, if I was a single guy and I was out looking for new women, why would I ever think that it was a good idea to go find like a woman that's 40? What would we do together? We'd go to like, I don't know, visit a cemetery. I don't know what we would do together. So, look, if you're the type of guy that, you're 40, 50 years old and you haven't done anything yet, you're pretty much live your life like a piece of shit, and you're dedicated to staying a piece of shit, yeah, you know, beautiful young girls, they're not going to be very attracted to that because you didn't even like yourself. You didn't even respect yourself enough to go do something. But I have to think that, you know, the amount of men that fit that type of profile that are on here listening to me is probably very close to zero. Probably very, very close to zero. So, you know, how do you deal with age? Let me give you a couple, like, you know, practical, you know, tips on that. Is that, you know, first of all, if you're a dude that's like in your late 30s, 40s, 50s, you know, one structure that you might take that you might find useful would be telling the girl, like, you know, oh yeah, I wouldn't consider dating a girl that's not at least 15 years younger, at least 15 years younger. Because if I met a girl that I liked and I spent time with, like, I can't imagine myself being an older man with an old lady. So, you know, that 15-year age gap or 20-year age gap or whatever number of years that, you know, you as an individual might have in your head, you have to frame that of like, why is that a benefit to her? Why is it in her best interest that she has a man that's at least 15 years older? And, you know, the way you would explain that is like, you know, oh, yeah, more mature, more resourceful, less drama, you know, better educated. I can show you a lot of things that a man your age wouldn't be able to show you. We can do a lot of things together that, you know, a young man wouldn't have access to, wouldn't have the ability to, because he has a less developed social network, probably less developed education, finances, etc. And then, you know, another useful tidbit there is explaining to the girl, like, well, you can't even find men your age that you're attracted to. You're talking to me right now because you can't even find men your own age. You know, the best thing ever for an older, more developed guy is that, you know, women in their late teens, early 20s, when they find men that are in their late teens or early 20s, most of the guys aren't doing shit. Like, the majority of them are doing like nothing productive, and they're just kind of coasting, you know, just doing some leisurely shit, but not the type of things that would lead to great outcomes. And this is absolutely true that, like, you know, the young women that are most ambitious and most productive, they have a very, very, very difficult time. They're deeply frustrated that other men their age, it's not that they prefer a guy who's 15, 20 years older, it's that they can't find a guy their age that they're actually attracted to. So when they find it, you know, like, they might be physically attracted, but then they talk to the guy and he's extremely disappointing. And just the way that you and we go talk to a girl, and I mean, I'm disappointed daily when I go speak to young women. I'm just like, oh God, she's so pretty, but if only her brain worked, if only we could have a conversation. And, you know, they're immensely disappointing. And I promise you that the most productive young women, they have the exact same feelings. They feel exactly like that. They're like, oh, he looks really good, but then when I talk to him, I'm like, oh, his brain doesn't work. Like, oh, he's absolutely doing nothing in his life. So it's very hard for her to take that type of guy seriously. And, you know, she'd be excited if you don't make the age thing a problem, if you frame it like it's a benefit to her of like, oh, like, you know, I see that you'd have a grave difficulty finding a man who's not at least 15 years older. That's a very useful tactic to dealing with that. A couple other questions on here. Blah, blah. Yeah, let's talk about approach anxiety for a second. So, you know, how does approach anxiety ever go away? How do you get to that point, etc.? You know, look, man, let's talk about what approach anxiety is. You know, approach anxiety is perfectly natural. Everybody has approach anxiety. Like, everybody has that at one time. You know, evolutionarily, that exists because, you know, Homo sapiens have lived for about, that's our brand of human, our type, about 300,000 years. And, you know, we evolved from other mammals. And, you know, mammals have been around for 350, 400 million years. So think that through, 350 million, 400 million years. That's 8 zeros, 4 with 8 zeros. You know, the evolution evolution creates this approach anxiety thing. And the circumstance in evolution that led to this, that led to those emotions that you're feeling, and there's nothing wrong with the emotions. I would tell you guys, like, don't deny the emotion. Don't try to suppress that emotion. Feel whatever you're feeling, but also don't be a pussy. And let me explain. The most of our ancestors, Homo sapiens, would live in a tribe of something like 50 to 200 people. And that seems to be a very broad consensus about humanity through, the studies of sociology and evolutionary psychology. They agree that, about 50 to 200 people would have lived in a tribe together for most of Homo sapien history. And in that tribe, just say your tribe, you got 100 people or so, imagine there's 3 beautiful girls there, the 3 prettiest ones. Now, everybody wants to fuck those same 3 girls. And, no doubt those girls are friends. No doubt they're close allies. Why? Because there's a fucking 100 people in your tribe. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody wants to fuck those girls. Of course, they're good friends. So, when you're just thinking about your social status or your level of entitlement or where you fit in the tribe, realize that, well, who are the other men who want to fuck those girls? Like, well, there's probably like the chief. The chief is like either is already having sex with them or is going to be soon. Right? And the chief's son or sons, they have their eyes on those girls. And there's also like the most badass warrior guy, like the guy that goes out and like kills shit and brings back meat. And the guy who like, when your enemy tried to attack your tribe, he like killed the enemy and, still has his head maybe on a spike in front of his home, just as a reminder that he's the most badass warrior guy in the tribe. So, that's your competition. And, for most of human history, you would have to deal with shit like that where, well, if I go hit on these girls, the same girls that, they're already getting fucked by the warrior guy, the badass hunter guy, the tribal chieftain, the chief's sons, all those guys are after those same girls. Well, you see how that could be a problem, that even if the girl was interested in you on some level, you see that could turn into a violent altercation that might leave you crippled, might leave you dead. You might get exiled from your tribe entirely, which, again, most likely would lead to death. And so you see from that perspective that, you have that's a healthy anxiety of like, oh, if I go talk to someone else's women, something bad might happen. Let me share one more perspective, then we'll bring these things together. Think about it from the woman's perspective. Think about it where, like, imagine that she likes you. Say that number 3 girl in the tribe, the 3rd hottest one. Say that she likes you. She's interested in having sex with you. But when you go, you don't want that one. You want the hottest one because you're a fucking pimp. Because you're a member of the brotherhood. You want the hottest bitch possible. So you're going to go talk to the hottest bitch. And if things don't go well, guess what? She is going to tell her friends. She's absolutely going to tell her friends immediately. She's going to say, oh, dude came and hit on me and did it poorly. He had bad game, yo. Dude had bad game. And she's going to tell her friends about it, man. And now the girl that did like you, that number 3 girl that maybe she would have fucked you, maybe that would have been your girl for, some period of time or for a lot of your life. Well, she's not going to now. Because if she had sex with the guy that her friend rejected, it would lower her social status. And she's not going to have that lower her social status. It's too important. It's too important for her. It's too important for her offspring. So then you have that second perspective. The first perspective, again, is, oh, like a dude might beat me to death, or I might get exiled from the tribe and die like that, die alone, and that's not a great thing. And then again, perspective number 2 is from the woman of like, oh, if I go hit on a girl, she's going to tell all the other women, and they won't want me either. And, those are 2 main issues that cause approach anxiety. They're both valid. So who has approach anxiety? Everyone. Every human who's not mentally ill. If you don't currently have a mental illness, you'll have approach anxiety. Why? Because it means you had a good functioning brain. It means that your ancestors, the reason that you're alive and other men who didn't have approach anxiety are now dead is because they were beaten to death, they were exiled from the tribe, or they were allowed to stay on the tribe with low social status and they got punked and they didn't get to reproduce. So like literally their genetic code did not get passed on. And a guy that did have some healthy approach anxiety and was a little more strategic in his handling of his social circumstances, those guys did reproduce. And you and I, we are the offspring of those people. So everybody has approach anxiety. So first of all, understand that. Secondly, back to my comment from several minutes ago of like, it's okay to feel anxious, bro. It's okay to have those thoughts in your head of like, men might compete with me in a violent way. Women might judge me negatively. Yeah, that's true. And I would say about that, so fucking what? So fucking what, bitch? You're gonna stay home and do nothing? You're gonna fucking just I'm just gonna sit at home and like, order like masturbation cream in bulk, go to fucking Alibaba and get a shipping container full of masturbation cream, stay home alone, look at family photos, look at photos of my uncle, my aunt, just jerk off till I'm dead. Is that a real answer? Like that's just pathetic, man. So it's okay to feel any type of way you feel, man. But you don't live in a village of 100 people, and if you do, you should move immediately. And for those fellas that'll hear this, are like, oh, but I live in a small town, and blah blah blah. Yeah, move. You know what? Owen moved when he was 22, 23. He moved from a smaller community in Canada. He moved to Hollywood, and a few years later, he's banging a lot of okay girls at that time. But a few years later, he's banging Playboy Playmates. I've been banging Playboy Playmates, Maxim girls, other girls you see on billboards and TV. I came from a smaller community. I moved. Owen came from a smaller community. He moved. A lot of guys did that. And, it's wherever you were born, that's cool, or wherever your current circumstances is, cool, man. But, put yourself in a situation where, there's a whole lot of cities that have 1 million or more people. And, the consequences of you hitting on a hot girl are like nothing. The consequences of like, oh, I go hit on the hot girl, and, either I end up with that hot girl or I'll end up with a different hot girl. But there's like the negative consequences are so insignificant. It just doesn't matter, And then, you have to have one other perspective about this approach anxiety. Is like, dude, if you're not talking to a lot of beautiful women, how are you supposed to date those girls? Because you won't like most of them. Most of them, if you got to know them, you're like, oh my God, like there's a very high correlation between like a woman's beauty and her general insanity. And, there's a lot of girls there. It's not even her fault entirely. It's not entirely her fault. A lot of this is because fucking guys lie to them. Guys are manipulative. They give them whatever they want. So, okay, princess, they'll just agree with anything. They'll just agree with any amount of nonsense from a pretty woman, just to try to get in bed with her, which is really disgusting. It really distorts the woman's perceptions of reality, and it distorts them in a very short-term biased way, and gives her a sense of entitlement that's entirely disconnected from how the world is going to treat her, after she's 25 or 30 years old. It just won't be happening anymore. And a lot of those women, all of you would have seen women in the club that are extremely bitter because of it, extremely, extremely bitter because of it. That, you see women that are 40, that are good looking for 40, but, she's 40. And, she would have been a hottie back in the day. And you can see the bitterness of like, she doesn't get the same type of treatment. She doesn't have the same perks that she would have got. And, some of you poor bastards have been married to those girls. And, thank God you're not anymore. Thank God, thank Satan that you've moved on to a better path. Let's see what other comments we got in here. Ways to handle cognitive dissonance while accepting your current identity, pursuing a new re-engineered self. No, I think I need a little more detail about that one, Sean. Well, let me wing it. Let me have a drink here and wing it. Cognitive dissonance is just a psychological pressure or unease of, in the context that you're describing. Some people think of that as like imposter syndrome, or feeling like you're pretending to be someone that you're not, or that you're not quite yet. And I just say, take a lot of that psychological pressure off yourself, man. I think fake it till you make it is generally a pile of shit. I've heard some smart people talk about that with some reverence. I don't think it's their brightest moment. And I'm not trying to fake shit, and I wouldn't advise you to, being more fake or pretending to be something you're not. It's not going to help your life on a long time horizon. And just being at peace with who you are right now, that doesn't foreclose the opportunity for you to be better. It's like be at peace with your current self. Be happy with little Eckhart Tolle talks about, like, accept the present moment, as if you had chosen it for yourself, as if you decided to make the world exactly like it is right now. And but he also says take right action and go get shit done. And I think I'm a lot more inclined to action than he is, frankly. But it's okay to feel whatever you're feeling. It's okay to have the image that you have of your future self, like the goals that you're working to achieve, is not in alignment with your current self. But that doesn't mean that you should judge your current self negatively. It just means like, oh, well, let me be like, let me treat myself with the respect that I deserve for being a guy who has developed a plan, who's taking action to overcome stumbling blocks and achieve that plan. And you should feel you deserve self-respect. Simply for that, you deserve tremendous self-respect, because most guys would never do that. So building that plan, executing daily to make that a fact in reality. I can't think of a thing that a man deserves more credit for. Because, what? Because he accomplished something? Like, it's cool that you accomplished something, but, the men that are very accomplished in the world, they set a goal, they achieve that goal, they feel good about themselves, they set a new goal, and they start working on that. So whatever your current goals are, if you're the type of man that I like hanging out with, if you're the type of man that I am personally, about the exact same day that you realized, like, oh, I achieved that goal that I've been working on for X period of time. That's fantastic. I finally achieved that. And I hope the same day you already have some new goals set and you're going to wake up tomorrow and start working on those goals as well. And, and probably the truth of the matter is it's even more aggressive than that. Probably you already have multiple goals right now that you're working on simultaneously, and finding synergies between those behaviors so you can accomplish all of those. And you'll get them done as you have capacity. You wrap up one project or one goal, and a new one will come to mind. But you probably have 2 or 3 things that you're working on, simultaneously. So I think it's just fantastic that there's no reason to have cognitive dissonance of like, well, I'm not there yet. That would be like, well, I'm an investor, I want to be an investor, or I work on Wall Street, or, I manage my own money in my fucking IRA or whatever it is. But, I don't have as much money as Warren Buffett yet, so I'm supposed to feel depressed or something. But, you're doing that to yourself. You're having an irrational thought, and you're doing that to yourself. And, give yourself permission to feel comfortable about who you are right now, but also make sure that you're simultaneously taking action to accomplish your current goals and to set other high-level goals. So you can have that sense of pride and accomplishment, and the peer group that goes with that, and the intellectual development that goes with that, and the financial well-being that goes with that. And I would say even your emotional well-being, in terms of like your actual health, is better. People that have a pattern of winning, they live longer. Yeah, why? Because they experience better emotions. They take care of themselves at a higher level physically. They're psychologically happier, and they're treated with more respect by others, and they feel that they have purpose for being alive and doing something. So, okay, if you feel a little cognitive dissonance on occasion, but just, I would say just get to a place of like thinking about your current circumstances objectively, and focus on the part of like, instead of focusing on what you don't have yet and focusing on that gap, instead focus on like, well, I'd like to, I know where I want to be here in the future. What could I do today? What could I take action on right now to get myself a bit closer? What else could I do? What else could I do? And go execute on those things consistently. And, if you do that, you have no reason to feel any negative emotion. You just go get shit done, and check out the book, The 6 Pillars of Self-Esteem, from Nathaniel Branden, who was Ayn Rand's lover for many years, for 20 years or so. And he talks about exactly that. The reason a person feels self-esteem is you set goals, you accomplish the goal, you feel a bit better about yourself. Why? Because you're more competent. And men that are more competent have the right to feel more confident. And then you set a bigger goal and you go do it again. And your life should be a pattern of that goal setting and accomplishment, and goal setting and accomplishment. And it's not going to be linear. You're going to have setbacks. It would look like a multi-decade stock chart, that there's some things that you're going to have to, reorient or move away from. find better goals, etc. And but your trajectory is going to be tremendous relative to a person who didn't have those goals. What else do we got here? How do you consistently find the highest caliber women? Bro, a couple thoughts about that. It's like, first of all, go to the places where they are. If you're one of these guys that it's like, well, I don't want to pay $5 to go in the club. Why should I have to pay a cover charge? And occasionally, I never respond to these people. I don't think they have the right to live on the same planet that you and I do. But sometimes I write this type of stuff on my social media, or people ask me like these type of questions. I'm having dinner and some weirdo comes up to me and is like, hey, Derek, you're Derek from RST. Hey, Derek, how can I go to the club for free so I don't have to pay $5 for the cover charge? And, what the fuck? I was in New Orleans once for Mardi Gras, and once is enough. New Orleans is a very nice city, but the spectacle of Mardi Gras, after you've experienced walking on, slipping on beads in the street that are covered with urine and vomit, after you've experienced that once, you've checked that box in your life, and you may not need to experience it a second time. But, when I was down there, you barely see a beautiful woman in the street. You barely see a seven in the street, because the guys there are like literally groping them. It's like literally groping and like catcalling and just being entirely gross. And you know how you got away from that? You literally paid $5. You literally paid $5 to go to like a college bar where there's like civil people, where people like have a, they're either have a college degree or they're interested in getting one. They're currently working on one. And, if you want to be around beautiful women, I strongly suggest that you're going to be a resourceful guy. Like women, where do the beautiful women want to be? They want to be where the resourceful men are. They want to be where guys have an education, where, they want to be with the guys that are good problem solvers. So who are those people? Well, a lot of it is you people. A lot of it is you, man. It's like there's guys that are, they value education. They value having a good work ethic. Many of the best problem solvers in the world are, they have some sort of STEM background, some math or engineering type background, or they work in some profession where it's important to understand, science or fundamentals of mathematics, etc. Those are the people that build the world. It's really many, many, many of you people. So, first of all, where are those people going to be? Well, where are the hot girls going to be? Well, they're going to be around those guys. They're going to want to be around guys that have above average problem solving skills and above average social status. So where are those guys? Are they on Bourbon Street slipping around on fucking vomit? Hell no. So, the cities that become destination cities for those men also become destination cities for women. And if you even look at, let's look at Los Angeles or Manhattan. A lot of women go to those cities for, modeling and fashion and so on, social media stuff. But, who are the men that they want to hang out with there? Well, there's a lot of guys that are very resourceful and very intelligent there too. And even if you look at what happened in San Francisco in recent years, San Francisco is a terrible place. And if you live, it's a fine place to make money. Fine place to make money. A lot of smart people there. So a lot of respect for that. However, it's a terrible place to be a single man. A single man in San Francisco, no doubt, cries himself to sleep 5 days a week. And it used to be worse. They used to cry themselves to sleep 8 days a week, but now only 5, because even San Francisco has become a destination city for more attractive women. It's less disgusting than it used to be a few years ago. So, the women are going to go where resourceful guys are. And, you shouldn't bother trying to trick the system of like, how can I save $5? How can I save $10? Like, we're in Miami at the moment, and it's Art Basel weekend. And for those of you that might not know, like, this is like the best weekend of the year in Miami. And the hotel prices are ridiculous. Some of the hotels, a hotel that I normally might stay in for like, $200 a night this week is like $800 a night with taxes. Everything's more expensive. And, it's difficult to get into some of the restaurants. It's difficult to get into some of the clubs. And I'm here with a pretty large group of men. We're hitting up the clubs. My boot camp clients had a fantastic night, by the way. Several of my assistants pulled and got laid as well. And they had a really fun time. So fantastic time of the year to be here. But yeah, man, it's hotels are more expensive. Flights are more expensive. We're spending thousands of dollars to get in the club. Why? Because everybody wants to be here. People came from Europe and South America. A lot of people from New York. People came from all around the world to be here for this amazing special event. So you could be the type of guy that's like, fuck that. I'm not going to get taken advantage of. I'm not going to pay $150 to go to the club. I'm not going to pay to go to the fucking, I could just buy my flight next week and it's $200 cheaper next week. All right, yeah, you could be that type of guy. You could be that. But you know what? A lot of those bitches are going to be back in Europe next week. A lot of them are going back to South America. A lot of them are going back to Europe. A lot of them are going back home, wherever else they live, man. And you can come here next week and, the ocean will be there. It'll look exactly the same. They might have the beaches cleaned up by then. It'll be fine. But, if you want to be where the best women are, they want to be where the most fun is. They want to be there during the best fucking week of the year. So that's why people are here right now, man. And like, if you think you're going to be like an unresourceful guy, you're going to be like, I'm going to be dumb and broke and get the type of results that a brilliant rich man could get. I don't know, best wishes, man. It ain't about money, by the way. It ain't about money. It's about like, who are the type of men that go get money? Well, those are guys that are good problem solvers. That's why engineers have above average incomes. That's why people that can do any type of STEM type work, science and technology type backgrounds, those guys get more money. So of course they do. They deserve it. They're better problem solvers. So make yourself a good problem solver. Go gather the financial resources, social resources. That's what the Brotherhood is about, by the way. This is a group. We're going to talk about pickup quite a lot, but the most important thing that I want to talk about with you guys for the years to come is going to be, well, how do I live a more resourceful life in general, and how do we build social alliances to make that easier? And that don't mean trick the system. It just means like, well, you're going to be like the people that you spend time with. You're going to be sharing information with those people that you spend time with, and most people aren't going to be a great wingman. Most people aren't going to be thinking about the world the right way to have the most productive outcomes. So, by coming together and sharing some of these things, I anticipate that I'm going to learn a lot from you guys in years to come. I think that you're going to learn a hell of a lot from me and my team. And it's a major goal of mine to make this a fantastic network of very resourceful men so we can go do good shit together. And, this is not the type of platform that we're going to be like, hey, bro, how can we trick the system and save $10? This is going to be the type of platform of like, how do we build such fantastic resources together? How do we create such great social resources, financial and intellectual resources that we can just go do whatever the fuck we want? And you're not worried about what it costs to go to the club, and you're not worried about the cost of the flight, and you're not worried about these little trifles and petty things. This is a platform for resourceful men that you already value education, you already have a good work ethic, and we're going to work together to share those things back and forth so we can get more access to cool shit, be around those best women, get the best in the premier places where they are. And, if you're living your life the right way, you wouldn't even care about any of this little petty shit. You'd just be, oh yeah, where are the hot women? How do I get access to the hot women? Oh, I go where the resourceful men are. And, I got to make myself, Charlie Munger, good old Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett's business partner, says the best way to get what you want in life is to deserve it. And, if you want to bang a lot of 9s and 10s, you should build your life in a way that women perceive you as a 9 or a 10. And, probably more importantly, that you perceive yourself as a 9 or a 10. Let me look at a couple more questions here. Submit 1 or 2 more, by the way, guys. Is social media mandatory? I'm back and forth on it. I don't fuck with social media much. I made an Instagram for you guys. So if you're not on my Instagram, you should be. Just find, at RST Derek. If you're not on my YouTube, you should be. So there's 40, 50 hours of really great content on there that I've made over the last few years that I've just been trickling out for you guys for free. And, it's advantageous in that way that, I can share some ideas that are going to help a lot of men's lives. And I like that. That's pretty cool. But, in terms of, look, a lot of people think that, I got to build my social media and let everybody know what I'm doing. And I don't know, like the guys that I know that are really having a fantastic life, they're not worried about documenting every moment of it. They're not worried about like documenting every meal or, every time it'd be really weird if every time I got on a jet, I took a picture of like, oh, I'm sitting in first class again. Oh, I'm in business class again. Is like, what, I'm not even thinking about that. Like, I just have like a first class seat, like, because I fly about 200,000 miles a year. And because of that, my airline gives me, half of the time they give me a first class seat for free. And, sometimes I pay cash for the upgrades and sometimes I just sit in economy. I don't really care. And like there's a narcissism just inherent in all this social media stuff. There's like a very petty narcissism of trying to impress people about your life. And, if you lived a life of like legitimate abundance, if you lived a legitimate abundant lifestyle, you just wouldn't be worried about it. You'd just be like, all right, so I've got a nicer seat and, now they're going to bring me some fucking, some almonds and cashews on the jet. That's nice. And, in terms of like, I eat at nice restaurants all the time. Why? Because it was my lifetime goal. Why? Because I was a little peasant boy. And, I recently had this thought. I was in New Zealand and I was staying at, arguably, it probably is the nicest hotel in their country. And in the city center in Auckland. And I was looking out the window at the water. And it's very beautiful. It's a nice place. Nice place to visit. Wouldn't want to live there. Nice place to visit. And I was thinking to myself of like, I was reminiscing with a friend. I'm like, I remember a time when I was a kid where I didn't have $2. That I wanted to go buy a burger down the street. There was a local restaurant, and I didn't have $2 to go buy a sandwich. And when I say I didn't have $2, I mean the cumulative net worth of my household, we didn't have $2 liquid to go buy a sandwich. And then, fast forward 20-something years, 30 years, and I'm traveling around the world. I have, amazing business contacts and friends that I spent time with. I spend a lot of time with the RSD guys now that have done, quite a few live talks in my VIP tour, at the summit events, and spending time with guys on boot camp. And I really just made a fantastic global network of high achieving men that, it's just great. But I feel extreme gratitude, and I feel extremely thankful for what I have now. And I do feel proud of myself that there's a lot of things that I did to build that ecosystem. But the idea that I'm supposed to go take photos of it or document it on Snapchat and Instagram, it just seems bizarre to me that a man who's just happy with his life and living his life would not be doing that. And I think there is an inherent scarcity in it. For the same reason that you wouldn't go to your refrigerator and take a photo of like a water bottle or like a leftover tuna sandwich that might be sitting in your refrigerator. You wouldn't do that because you just don't care, because you can go to the fridge anytime and get a water bottle. And if you're living a real baller lifestyle, I just think it'd be really weird to take a picture every time you get on a jet. It'd be really weird to take a picture every time you had a nice dinner. It'd be really weird to take a picture if you were hanging out with cool friends, because you should spend every day eating what you would like to eat and going where you would like to go and spending time with quality people. So, there's special events or holidays that maybe you memorialize. You're with your friends and it's kind of a special event. But, just taking random photos like that, I just think it's really bizarre. Now, let me say the other side of this coin, however, is I think there's very few people that have that perspective. And, most of our society is so sucked into the narcissism that they don't even know any better. And so it's a lot more relatable to the peasantry, to like middle class people. It'd be a lot more relatable if you have your little bullshit social media and your little braggy pictures and whatnot. That'd be a lot more relatable if you want to be a mass marketer. So what I would say to you is, like, if you want to get along with average people, if you just want like some average girl, some 50th percentile or 70, 80th percentile girl even, she might think you're weird if you don't have social media. Meanwhile, I just think, like, man, if you're a real baller, like, I think that other girls that are having like an actual elite lifestyle that aren't necessarily famous, because a famous girl, that's part of her business, is to document that and put it on the internet for everybody to see. But I think there's some other girls out there. Actually, I'm certain of it. I know it's a fact. There are some girls out there that have a fantastic lifestyle, and she just wants to enjoy a nice dinner with her man. She don't want to take a fucking photo of it. And those are the type of girls that I want to spend more time with. I don't want to hang out with a lot of petty people obsessing about this shit. Now, all that said, like, one more thing that I'll make a counter argument that I think is useful about the social media is, if you think about like what Snapchat is or what Instagram is this is a platform where you could give someone tremendous context about your life. It's very easy to go out and get, exchange, add somebody on your IG or Snapchat. And, when you're just giving them those little snapshots of your life here and there, they feel like they know you more. So they feel like they understand your lifestyle. It gives them a context of, like, would she like to be part of that lifestyle, etc. And I do see some of my buddies and a couple of my assistants that they run around with IG and Snapchat. They add bitches all over. We're traveling around the world together. We're always in a different city. And when they go back to a city that they've been to previously, maybe they met a girl, hooked up with her. That girl's looking at his Snapchat for 4 months or 8 months, where the dude's fucking going to, nice restaurants, different cities, living a pretty fucking dope lifestyle. And when he comes back to that community, when she sees, like, oh, he's back in town, those girls do hit those guys up. Those girls do be like, oh, you're back in, blah, blah, blah. Hey, do you have time to see me? So, there's definitely an advantage to it. It's a great mass marketing tool in that sense, where you're doing a lot of passive game, or, creating that passive attraction, or, showing her your lifestyle so she feels like she already knows you and feels, you have a trust, comfort connection already. So it's definitely good for that, but it's not something that I want personal to do. I don't see the value in it for me personally, but a lot of guys are doing it, and sure, you can get laid from it if that's the type of life you want to live. I'm going to do one more in here. What else we got? Do I know many people who choose to continue to live the bachelor's life past 40? And do they continue to feel fulfilled, killing it at life? One of my buddies I seen out last night, he's 56. He's just over 5 feet tall. He might be like 5'3". That's about 157 centimeters for your metric guys. 157, 158. 56 years old. He's bald. Let me just recap that. Bald, 5'3", 56 years old. And he's hitting on hot dope bitches, man. He's hitting on a lot of young girls. I've seen him. I've known this man for several years now. And in his early 50s, I watched him break up with his 24-year-old girlfriend. I think he was 53. Broke up with his 24-year-old girlfriend, who was pretty good looking. And they were having a lot of threesomes together also. But she put on about 10 pounds, and he thought that was just egregious. And he told her to lose the weight. And she didn't gain any more weight, but she also didn't lose the weight. And he just broke up with her, and then he started dating another girl that was 22 instead. And, I've seen those sort of things from him very consistently. He's a former boot camp client of mine, and he became a good friend. We've traveled around Europe a few times together and all over America and so on. Um, and yeah, I don't know, bro. It's like, you think you like, past 40, as you say, like you think you turn 40 and then you're just like, oh, like, I mean, I guess if your dick falls off, I guess you might as well do something else. But I mean, if you still have erections and everything, I don't know. I would go talk to some hot girls, man. I'm going to be 40 very soon, and I'm not concerned about it at all. I see a lot of girls that are in their late teens, early 20s. They're just happy, just delighted to meet me, just delighted to meet me. So, I imagine if I was 50, that that funnel might be a little tighter. There might be a few less girls that are teenagers that find it relatable to be with a man in his 50s. But I think there's plenty of girls in their 20s, and like, I would just have no fear. If I look forward in my life, if I was 60 and I had to be single at age 60, I would just have zero fear. Like, could I meet a beautiful woman that's like, 27, 30 years old that would be really excited to spend time with me? Absolutely. Definitely. So yeah, I mean, I have zero fear about it. I had a great uncle that he died having sex. He was 82 and his girlfriend was 40. So that was my father's uncle, literally died having sex when he was 82, and his girlfriend of the last couple of years at that point in his life, she was 40 when he died. And I just have zero fear. I know my value. I know who I am. I know my value, and I know there's going to be plenty of other women out there. Plenty of women are going to be excited and delighted to spend time with me because I know I'm very useful, and they value your usefulness tremendously more than they're concerned about your age. One of the greatest things that we have going for us, guys, is like these fucking girls. They're a lot less superficial than we are. Some of you might think that like, oh, the girls are so superficial, or they'll blow me out for any reason. They're a lot less superficial than we are, man. Because a lot of little petty things that if I see something that girls do and I don't like it, I'm just like, nope. Or I mean, there's a lot of girls that they're not even on your radar. You go to the club and like you're not looking at fatties and old women and shit. Like it's not even on your radar. The same way, like if you walk down the street, you're not like looking to make friends with homeless dudes. If you are, you should get off of here immediately. You've come to the wrong place. Common theme is going to be making fun of those people. So yeah, man, I have no fear about it. I just have no fear about it. I don't think that you should. The metrics that are going to matter is, when you get past age 30, if you're 22 and you haven't done shit yet, that's okay. It doesn't matter because a girl, she expects that from a man that's 22. But if you're 32, you better at least have your body in really good shape. If you still haven't done anything else, you better at least have your body in good shape. But the older you get, if we just keep going out, 42, 52, so on, she'd be happy to be with a guy that's resourceful and getting shit done, and she's going to be a lot more responsive to your social status, which is not just money, by the way. It's not just money. She's going to be very responsive to your social status of like, do other resourceful men treat you with respect? Do other resourceful men, when you're speaking to them, do they listen to what you're saying and communicate in an intelligent and respectful way with you? Are those men, are they happy to spend time around you? And if you have those type of relationships, a lot of other things are going to fall into place. That it's not because you wanted to trick the system. It's then that you're 40, 50, 60 years old, and you can still go out to the premier nightclubs of the entire world. And, you probably know the door guy there or the manager or the owner or something. Why? Because you lived a resourceful lifestyle. You spent your life being a good problem solver, being concerned about helping other people, solve their problems and accomplish their goals. And that's how you accumulate. That's how you accumulate resources. That's how you accumulate social resources. That's how you accumulate financial resources. Anytime I think about a problem, any perceived problem I have of like, oh, I want, the next thought that I have is like, who could help me do that? And then the biggest thought that I have is, what can I do for them? What could I do for that person, man or woman? What could I do for that person to make myself so useful to them, so useful that it would just be, it would be an afterthought. Of course they would want to give me what I want. Of course they would want to give me whatever I want. because they know that I'm going to be very useful to them, that I could help them accomplish much bigger goals. And you're going to have to go through the world and screen for people that you have the right economic trade-offs, where you could offer tremendous value to someone else at not much cost to yourself, and they could offer tremendous value to you without much cost to themselves. And if you have those couple metrics in mind and you live your life that way, you're going to have a lot of very high quality friends. You're going to have a lot of very high quality social contacts, and there's going to be a lot of beautiful women, and not only beautiful, but otherwise, intelligent and high quality women. They're going to want to spend their time, their life around a man like that, because they're going to be very disappointed with the alternatives that are out there, man. So, look, guys, I'm gonna keep it moving. I got to get with my guys for a minute about a couple other things. I have another little meeting before I meet with my boot camp clients tonight. But I have a lot of respect for you for being here. I'm very, very excited. This is just a bonus call. Like I said, we're going to have things a lot more structured. Whatever you guys vote for, go to the goddamn forum and vote. I don't care what we talk about next month, but I want to talk about whatever is going to be very useful for you. So go vote on those things through the Gold Forum. If you're not a Gold member, you should be. Join the Gold membership. Gold members is only for people that have been on boot camp. If you haven't been on boot camp, you're not serious, in my opinion. A guy who hasn't come on boot camp has not made the commitment to be on there and talk to the rest of us. But hit me up on that platform. You're gonna be able to private message me, the Gold members, Knights tier guys. I see a couple of you guys on here right now. Shout out to you. We're going to get logos for the Knights tier guys and Gold. You're going to have logos on the platform. We'll get all the little technical details worked out this month, so we're fully rocking and rolling in January. And I'm also going to bring some of the other instructors on, like I said. So I think when I'm in San Francisco in January, I'm going to see if Jeff has time to chat with us. You guys want to fucking hear from Jeff? You want to do a talk with Jeff and I together? Just a bonus talk, totally extra bonus talk. I'm thinking about doing late January after our main talk. But if you're interested in that, send me a little message, and I'll go out of my way to make it work. And yeah. Final thoughts again. Hit me up on the fucking. You can send me a DM. Send me a fucking DM once a month, guys. I'm gonna respond once a month. You can send me what you want, but I'm gonna respond once a month. And I don't mean that out of disrespect. I just if you knew the things I'm doing in my schedule right now, you'd fully understand. Take advantage of the forum. You guys can talk to each other. You can talk to me in the forum. Use the new forum. Because the old one is going to get deleted in 1 week on the 15th. Anything that you might have written on the old one that you want to cut and paste and copy over, go do that. And I'm going to put a lot of dope shit out for you guys. So let me know what you're excited about. Let me know how I can help you. And I think you're going to have a fantastic 2019. Last reminder also is Cameron and I are going to do a call together in about December 20-something. It might be a couple days before Christmas, a couple days after Christmas. But I want to talk to you guys about the main takeaways that both he and I had in our travels. Maybe I'll bring some of my other boys on too. But I wanted you to hear about some of the main takeaways that we had from 2018 and some of the biggest breakthroughs psychologically that helped us get better results this year. And I want you guys very well prepared to implement those things in 2019 and have an absolutely fantastic year. So much love, much respect. Hit me up through the Gold Forum, and I'm going to chat with you guys in a couple of weeks. Take care, man.